I'm Mark Woolley. I'm chairman of the Hovingham Village Market Group. We're a voluntary organisation run on a not-for-profit basis. We set Hovingham Market up following calls from the village to have a producers type market in the village to support local produce and other community activities that we do. We started in October 2009. We had at our first market 12 stalls, and it's subsequently grown to quite a good level since then. We've got a great following of both traders, shoppers, and the community gets together once a month as well. We run a community cafe, which is inside the village hall.
Right.
The community cafe is run by a different voluntary group every month from the village. All the profits that they make from that get ploughed back into the community. We don't make any charge for running the cafe, so people that come and buy a cup of tea and our famous bacon sandwich know that the money is going back into the community, which is keeping everything moving from that point of view. So it's a great, good community spirit.
So the traders come back month after month?
We do, yes. We've
sales?
Grown very much in the last 2.5 years. We now have we're full at 40 stall holders.
We'll just span round and we'll just have a look here. How many did you say?
We've got 40 traders, 40 stall holders, and a waiting list of about the same in terms of traders.
Oh, so what does that mean in terms of expansion? Can you expand?
We don't feel that we are able to expand because we're limited in terms of space. But what we've started to do is to do Hovingham Village Market on tour. So we can go around other communities and show them what we do and take our market to them, which helps us in terms of getting other traders involved as well, and perhaps other communities that might want to do a similar sort of thing.
And what's in terms of that? Are you planning to go elsewhere?
Well, we've got a number of places booked. We've done a couple last year. We went to Hingham last year, which is about 8-9 miles away, and we've got others that we're talking to at the moment to go this year to do them. We're also looking at doing some agricultural shows and taking our market on there, which is good for promotion for the traders and also for our market, and publicising the word that other communities can do a similar sort of thing.
And if you had to sum up the kind of the range of stall holders and the kind of ethos behind them, how would you describe?
Well, one of our ethoses is that most things are local, and everything is local. The meat comes from 2 miles up the road, the vegetables from bottom of the village. My own business, Country Cordials, come 100 yards to the market, so it's not too far. With a community orchard that produces apple juice and cider on a stall, and a lot of the traders just come here, quite a lot of them. Others do other markets around, but it means that everybody's got an outlet. One of the key things that we have is a good range. So we have everything from Selina Scott socks to meats, to soaps, to handcrafted knitwear that's made on the North Yorkshire moors. So it's all very sustainable, and that's what we're about, is helping traders, helping communities support their local businesses and trades, and keeping certainly the artisan crafts and food producers going.
Three mugs, please, tea.
Yeah, I mean that would have particularly because of the quantity of cinnamon in it. I don't think I've... No, well it's just something that, you know, it can be a really like what you do. Yes, yeah. It just happens to be very fast.
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm Philippa. I run Wheeldale Wool Crafts. I keep sheep and I process wool. This craft side is just a hobby part of the business. I make felt using British wool. That scarf is blue-faced Leicester, oatmeal blue-faced Leicester, which is quite rare. I dye a lot of Shetland wool. The colours on the rugs are hand-dyed Shetland wool. I make hats, knitted hats out of hand-dyed wool. I also use quite a lot of rare breed wool and process it and sell it on to spinners and felt makers and things like that.
So how many sheep do you have?
I'm 14 at the moment, soon to be some more. Got some very fat ewes.
Oh, right, lovely. And so this must be hugely time consuming because you do the whole thing, right through to shearing, right through to...
And that's the only bit I don't do. I get somebody else in to shear, but I keep the sheep, I do the washing of the wool, preparing of the wool, spinning.
And spinning?
Yes, I hand spin a lot. Although I haven't got any on today because I've been working on commission, so other people's fleeces.
Right.
I haven't got any for sale.
Right, okay. And what kind of places do you sell all your items
I go to
at?
the big wool events, Woolfest, Wander Wool, Fibre East, and a lot of it's on the internet, on my website, which is wheeldalewoolcrafts.co.uk.
Okay, well I'll put a link to that
on
this website as well. And how are you finding the market here? Is it a good venue for you?
Yes, it's local. I'm only about 5 miles away, so it's nice to come out. I don't do many markets anymore. I used to do a lot, but it's nice just to do a local one.
Yeah. And in terms of sustainability, could you talk about that? Do you see your business as
wool
being...
is very sustainable. Biodegrades when you've had enough of it. But there's very little fibre miles in British wool. That's what I'm using. It's been grown in Britain, sheared in Britain, processed in Britain and then used in Britain. You can't get greener than that. I was reading about polyester and all the microplastics that you find on beaches and how they're working their way into different sea life, and that's a lot from polyester fibres. It comes out of washing machines. So of course wool is compostable when you've had enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
People even line the hanging baskets with it.
Yes, well I've seen that they're putting it round fruit bushes as a kind of a mulch as well.
We do it at home with the waste bits of the fleece.
Yeah, great. So a very sustainable business.
Yes, minimise packaging, as much as possible recyclable.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Pat Richardson. I'm a director of Wilson & Richardson Foods Limited. We're a company from York, still a fairly small company but growing, and what we're doing is adding natural ingredients to good quality jumbo oats, and those ingredients do different things for your health. So we have Energy Balance, which is really good at regulating blood sugar levels and keeping you feeling fuller for longer, and the powerful ingredients in there are cinnamon and also flake quinoa. And we have Easy Tummy, which is good for digestive health, and that's really good for anyone who's suffering from IBS or bloating. And the powerful ingredients in those are linseed and oat bran. And you can use the blends in the same way as you'd use plain oats, so you can use them for porridge and muesli and baking, etc.
So how did you come up with the recipes?
Well, my business partner's a nutritional therapist, and she was advising her patients to eat certain foods for different health concerns. So she thought to make it simple we could put the right quantity of those ingredients into these jumbo oats, and then it was just easy to use straight away.
Right. And how are you finding this market?
This market's lovely. It's been really helpful to us because we've only been trading just over a year, and we're invited to come here the second month of our trading, and it's a really good way of meeting your customers and explaining your product. But it's nice that we can support the village community and support the market at the same time. The market's done really well. It gets so many awards, and we get new people every month.
Right.
So, yeah, it's really enjoyable to come here as well.
Terry Brown. The business is called Roosters. I make shoes at a little village called Buttercombe near Stamford Bridge, just outside of York. It's the only proper job I've ever done, and I can make shoes for individuals, and I can make them comfortable to fit. And choose the colours and the quality of the leather. Cut out by hand, sew the uppers on the machine, last the uppers onto the form, which is the shape of the foot, and then put on a hardware insole.
So they're really bespoke. So anyone whose feet is slightly different
Yeah.
from your average,
Yeah,
if there is
yeah,
such
yeah.
thing as an average.
Yeah, I do cater for people that have
Maybe extra wide feet or...
yeah, maybe a problem with getting a comfortable fitting normal. Yeah.
Right.
I'm Cook of Venables. I run Country Cakes and Catering from Pickering, and yeah, we do celebration cakes mostly. The market's really to highlight the different cakes that we do, but it's the celebration cakes that we do from home that I specialise in.
Right. And how long have you been going?
I've been going just under a year.
Oh, a new business.
Yes,
Going well?
brand new. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose it's a bit of a, January, February time. It's a bit quiet for you, is
It is quiet at this time of year, but we have inquiries for wedding cakes, which can take, which can be months or even years in advance.
Right.
So, we're still busy, but it's different types of busy.
Yeah. And how are you finding this Hovingham Green Market? Is it
It's
working?
fantastic. It's a lovely place. We do quite well here.
Do you?
I don't bring the celebration cakes, but I do bring sort of samples and the smaller cakes that go into making the celebration cakes, so people can try. They can try a sponge cake, and if they like it, they know what they're getting in the big cakes.
Brilliant. So you'll be celebrating this year with lots of sales, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes.
Cheers.
I'm Andrew Coulthard. I'm a volunteer with the Orchard Village project. The project began to restore within the village is Hosthwaite, by the way, to restore the orchards that had been in the past the main source of income for the village, but they'd fallen into disrepair. And so a guy called Cameron Smith decided, actually as a result of a WEA local history project, to revive the orchards and manage to get funding for it. As a result of that, I think something like 1,000 trees have been planted in the village, and some of the old orchards have been restored and pruned and got back into working order. And we have a production facility, a new production facility that's been built in some local farm accommodation. And we produce fruit juice and a variety of ciders, and we've just started producing liqueurs this year as well too. And it does very well. It's a not-for-profit organisation, so the resources, the profits, the surpluses that it generates are then recycled into village activities.
Oh, brilliant.
And so I think at the moment, what's happened with us? We've had some orchard project money for a book exchange. We started our book exchange in the village to replace the mobile library. Some of the money is going towards a new church door, and we're in the process of hoping to rebuild our village hall, and we're hoping that some of the money for that will come from this. So that's what we do.
So what's the kind of range of products that you've got here today? Perhaps you could just show me a couple of items that are there.
Typical are we have a range of ciders. We do apple ciders in a variety of degrees of sweetness. It's usually fairly dry, and this year's produce is, I think, is drier than normal. So we have those. Then we have a range of really good fruit juices. Apple and pear. Apple is our best seller. And then we have a range of liqueurs, and our best seller by a long way is sloe gin.
With locally grown sloes picked from the...
Locally grown sloes, of course, but not locally produced gin.
No.
But everything else comes from within the village.
Fantastic. And
Both from orchards that the project has either planted or restored, or from people's private orchards in the village as well too.
So how does that work? Somebody's got a private orchard that's obviously been run down over the years, it's been neglected. How does it work in terms of them coming on board? Do they get a percentage of the sales, or?
We do. I think you'd have to ask Cameron about the detail, but as I understand it, we do a kind of trade, so that once we exchange a certain number of bottles of fruit juice or cider for a certain amount of weight of apples delivered.
It sounds like a fantastic arrangement.
It works so well, and we made it onto Radio 4, the food programme.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we were one of the number of orchard projects around the country and we were one of the ones that they came to talk to about.
And do you think, I mean, you were mentioning volunteers, there's a fair few volunteers involved
It's
in this.
entirely volunteer.
Yeah.
There are no paid people in the process, so I suppose that there are perhaps half a dozen people who are the key production volunteers, and then maybe a dozen and a half who are, like me, concerned with selling and just being a general dog's body.
But because the money's going out to the wider community, it does pull more people in. It becomes a whole community project in a way.
Yes, and it continues to grow. And I'm particularly interested in that because I'm the secretary of the village hall, and we're just up to stage 3 of a lottery bid for a brand new hall, and we're hoping that in addition to our lottery money, we shall have some money from this project as well.
So do you think this is a kind of project that could be replicated elsewhere in other villages?
Yes, I'm sure it could. You need a little nuclear pile of enthusiasm
Yeah.
for 1 or 2 people, and yes, of course, you know, if the land's available, and other people can come up with their own ideas for generating money as well too.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed.
You're most welcome.
You're dressed for it. You're probably the only one with a warm head. Tell us about your company.
Right, well, me and my dad have keeping bees for about 10 years, and we just sell a bit of honey on the side, basically. It's just a hobby that's turned into a bit of a small business, really.
Right, so where are you based?
In Malton. We're from
Okay.
Malton. We live in Malton. We've got bees over at Eberston, in Malton itself, and Slingsby, and some down at Cram, near the railway down there.
Right.
And we basically just do the honeys, sell a bit of bees as well. We do some training. We have a local association at Malton where we train new beekeepers.
Right, and it's a sort of growing interest in
Yeah,
in beekeeping.
it's becoming a lot more, like our association nearly folded about 10 years ago when we first joined, but now the last 2 years we've had 20 new members nearly each year.
And what do you put that down to?
It's basically the amount of bees that has been in the news, really, and it's become a much more popular hobby, really. It was dying off, really. It was only basically these old fellas keeping a couple of hives in the gardens, and they were all getting 80 odd fellas just plodding away kind of thing. But now it's become much more mainstream, I think. It's becoming a hell of a lot popular.
And young people like you are getting involved.
Yeah, I work full time with bees.
Do you?
Yeah. Now I work for the National Bee Net at York.
Oh, okay.
So we keep 200 hives there.
Wow.
But me and my dad just keep 40 in and around North Yorkshire.
And you come regularly to this market?
Yeah, we're here every month. And no, it's a good little market. It's just a shame about the weather today. It's just a bit chilly.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Daniela Cahoon and I work for Country Cordials. It's a product that we make in our kitchen using all natural ingredients, no additives or anything preservatives. So yeah, it's a gorgeous little product.
Where are you based?
In Hovingham.
Oh, actually in Hovingham?
Literally in Hovingham, so very local to this market, yeah.
Right, and where do you sell your products?
At markets, food fairs, food festivals. We only really started it properly last year, so it's
Did
kind
you?
of, yeah, so we're starting off on all these different places, and I think we're going to do some festivals this year, like Gold Trees, and to sort of really expand the product, because we do like mocktails, to take away drinks for people to have that are gorgeous as well, using the products.
Right, and so how did the idea of setting up a company producing cordials come about? Because you obviously got big competitors out there.
Yeah, massively. So one of the best things about these products is there's no nasty bits in it, there's no chemicals. Literally, you keep them in the fridge, there's a little bit of natural sugar that preserves it, hence why you have to keep them in the fridge. Mark, who invented the product, for want of a better word, he used to be a chef way back when, and then he progressed into gardening, and we grow a lot of our own products, and subsequently getting involved in the market, he's got a lot of contacts, so he thought he'd bring it all together, and this is what ended up being the end result. So,
Right,
yeah.
and it's going really well?
Really well, yeah. We have a lot of repeat custom, and it's just kind of getting out there, so we're developing the website now. Longer term, hopefully mail order, but we're kind of keen to make sure we never lose this heritage, this local, support local side of things, because that's what's so unique about the product.
Right,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thank you so much.
No worries.
What do you think of this of the market?
Well, I think the variety is so marvellous, and it's delicious things. I always go for the honey, and I'm just bought a bottle of cider.
Yeah, all locally produced.
All locally produced, as everything is, and that's marvellous. It's a great sort of community feel to it.
And did you think it was going to be a success when you first?
Absolutely, certainly, but total failure.
And look at it now. So that's fantastic. What's the secret of it, do you think?
Enthusiasm. There was a small group of people led by Mark Woolley who just turned it into a success.
Yeah.